Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zoom into Wine. It's time for the show and your host, Ian Blackburn.
All right, now it's time for our Rioja Blanc, and we have an expert, the importer himself, John Sillcocks, is on the Zoom with us. Hi, John. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Ian.
I'm glad you could be here because this is one of my all-time favorite white wines. Because a lot of people haven't explored it before. It's so different. It's made with different grapes and a different mentality. And I think we have one of the great examples here. This is a really beautiful brand, and there's a lot to learn about this category. John, how do we pronounce the brand?
Alegre Valganon.
Cool. I'm going to go into our PowerPoint, and we're going to learn about Alegre Valganon and Rioja Blanc, which is made from Macabeo, right?
Which is also known as Viura. So in Rioja, Macabeo is known as Viura, and that's the main grape in the blend. It's about 90%, and the other 10% is Garnacha Blanca.
And there's obviously some golden color here, so we're looking at a little bit of oxidative winemaking.
It actually, the color comes from skin maceration. So this bottle of wine is actually made in it's kind of the antithesis of what you think of when you think of Rioja Blanco. Typically, kind of the region moves more towards the oxidative style. So kind of more that nutty, kind of almost like sherry notes to it.
Mm-hmm.
This is more a fresher style of wine. So it's more about brightness, vibrancy. So it doesn't actually undergo it actually undergoes very little oxidation, but that color is coming from the skins because the wine itself sits on the skins for a decent amount of time, nothing too extreme, and the reason for that is basically aromatics and texture. So Oscar and Ava believe that a little bit of skin maceration, it really makes the aromatics pop on the wine, and it adds really nice mouthfeel.
Now, Rioja, obviously famous worldwide for the red wine, but just like Bordeaux makes a white that's kind of the secret white wine of
Mm-hmm.
Bordeaux, Rioja makes this beautiful white wine. And look at this beautiful place. It's, all of Spain is just this abundance of resources and land and probably too few people to drink all the great wine that they make in Spain. So they really depend on the export market. And this wine just delivers an incredible value proposition. Try to make a wine with this type of innate quality and detail and concentration and flavor profile anywhere else in the world, and you're looking at a much more expensive bottle of wine. So this is just really a top pick for me. I love, love, love doing this with great food. Obviously, there's some amazing Spanish tapa restaurants, which is too few restaurants to pour this wine. If I had a great restaurant, I'd be pouring something like this by the glass just to freak people out and explore, because I think this one appeals to such a big audience. This is our couple here,
Oscar.
Ava and Oscar, and she's technically the winemaker.
Yeah, so Ava actually comes from a long, long lineage of growers in the region itself. Her family has been farming in the region for quite some time, which is advantageous to both of them when they started this label, because they have sources that pretty much are, few and far between, and very old vines, bush trained, farmed correctly. So they've been able to come out of the gates with some amazing, amazing raw material.
Yeah, it's nice to have a great vineyard to work with, and they're obviously coming about it with some unique ideas. Very artisan, I think.
Yes, absolutely. Their biggest thing about, like, they're not trying to kind of fit into the box of Rioja, the traditional Rioja. They're like, Oscar is actually an expert in Rioja history, and Oscar and Ava, the approach of this was to kind of challenge everything that's known, and say why. Why are we doing it that way? What does a Crianza mean? What does a Reserva mean? Why not move in the other direction and go towards typicity and place? And so they're very much one of the growers spearheading the like kind of terroirist movement in Rioja right now. because their approach to things is very much pre-phylloxera Rioja. So smaller sites, very much site specific itself, really important farming and doing it themselves rather than the bigger houses, which they look for more of a house style. And they usually, purchasing fruit and not much involvement in the farming itself.
Cool. Well, this is one of the few brands that I have on our website in more than one facing. I have both the red and the white, and I can't recommend them higher. So if you like this white wine, I want you to check out the red as well, because this is a brand to know about. This is a brand to follow. Definitely an artisan approach, small producer, right, John?
Yeah, I mean the white wine that we're talking about right now, Ian. I mean they only make for the entire world. Let's just make sure here is they only make 350 cases of this wine.
Yeah. Wow. So it's very hands-on, small family operation with the highest intentions, and she just makes some lovely things happen. I think you'll find the red wine just beautiful, and this white wine's just got so much style and personality. And John, what when you smell and taste this wine, what foods do you think of?
Well, this wine has a lot of texture, but with that texture, comes there's a lot of acidity and energy to it. But I mean, it's kind of like the 1+1=3. I mean, seafood would be great with this wine. Something with like, a richer sauce to kind of make that, the texture on the wine as well as the texture in the food really pop. And some, saltier stuff. You had mentioned tapas earlier, Ian, and that totally makes sense as well. Something salty. White meats too, like
Mm-hmm.
chicken, rabbit, game, like that kind of stuff. I mean, that all of this makes total sense with this wine, and it's also just great to sip beforehand, like as an aperitif.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for bringing this wine to us. I'm a big fan, and it'll live on our website long and strong. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Ian. I appreciate the time.
Take care, buddy.
All right.